Born in '39 to commie zealots in Queens, David Horowitz, who kicked the bucket today, was a red-diaper baby turned rogue. Once a card-carrying Marxist, he flipped the script, saw through the left's BS and became their worst nightmare. The progressive left. Just commies in sheep's clothing, he said. Liars, slanderers, and word twisters pushing chaos while posing as saints. Horowitz, a former insider, clocked their game, guilt-tripping, truth-bending, and whitewashing their sins through his Freedom Center and books like Radical Son. He dragged their hypocrisy into the light, exposing how they've hijacked campuses, media, and government. The Black Panthers, thugs, not heroes, he roared. No matter what the elite claim, agnostic, but fighting like a prophet. He rallied a generation to ditch the lies and defend the West. Horowitz's ghost haunts the left's house of cards. His torch burns on in those who spit on deception and swing for truth. Heaven or not, he's earned his stripes, battling earthly hell. Salute, you fearless bastard.
Yes, the man known as David Horowitz, he fought hard, fought well, and I think by his name I'm going to fast today, because I'm going to fast against the progressive left. I'm going to see how tough I am, because these leftists are cruel and they are mean, but I don't know how tough they are. And it is better to be tough than mean. And I hope I can be as strong and as tough as him. You see the leftists out there, how cruel they are. It would have ruled if David Horowitz had died at birth. Oh, yes. Look how cruel that is. And some more profanity. Oh, yes. There are lots of cruel, nasty people. But you have to be aware that there are cruel, nasty people. And how do you fight them? Particularly when they are in our establishment. They are in our establishment institutions. Now I'm here, High Ridge Estates. During the early 1970s, Horowitz developed a close friendship with Huey P. Newton, founder of the Black Panther Party. I didn't know that. I knew that he was around the Black Panthers, and he had certainly developed a relationship with him, and basically, and he says, I'm not sure about, and of course, He's saying I'm not going to print that out, but I'm certain that he did many things. But I just want to say that he knew what the left was all about. He knew their propaganda. And I know I have said this before, but American communists, they were funded by the Soviet Union, and they gave away America's military secrets. But what do you see today in Hollywood when they deal, or what does Hollywood produce regarding American communists and the blacklist? They strictly show them as victims, not as any kind of victimizers. And they certainly were, many of them were extreme victimizers. And there's a lot of things out there that, again, they show them primarily as victims. But they reaped what they sowed. They did some very nasty things, and they play very nasty, vicious games. And they're very cruel, sanctimonious people. And you see these people with, because I spent some money on this. I did a little thing here, and I spent a little money. And they say, you paid money? You paid money for this? So what if I paid money? What problem is it of yours? Why would you even say that? They say that because they have no other argument. They're not giving me an argument about David Horowitz and the left. They're just putting out non-arguments. Just stupid. And I don't want to be your friend. I don't like you. You don't like me. We don't need to be around one another. I don't want to be around somebody that's culturally captured. I don't want to be around somebody who doesn't have any objectivity. And really, the only thing that you need to resist the left, you don't need to be MAGA. You don't need to be even conservative. You can just be an objective thinker. Anyway, I'm going to play Hollywood because that is the main thing they have control, along with social media. So let me play this real quick. As I get a little bit of a drink of water, my mouth is getting rather dry.
Hollywood, once a proud symbol of pro-American ideals and noble storytelling, has undergone a stark transformation. What was once a hub celebrating rugged individualism, family values, and the American spirit has been overtaken by culturally captured progressives. These ideologues aren't satisfied with merely eroding traditional American values. They appear determined to dismantle the foundations of Western civilization itself. These individuals are master manipulators and controllers, a fact that becomes clear when you examine modern Hollywood output. Pick any recent film, whether a blockbuster or an indie project, and you'll find narratives that twist history and morality to fit a specific agenda. Look at the Hollywood blacklist era. American communists, bankrolled by the Soviet Union, handed over critical military secrets during the Cold War, actively working to destabilize the nation. Yet today, these betrayers are portrayed as innocent victims, their actions glossed over by a sympathetic cultural elite. Through a cultural Marxist lens, Hollywood now distorts issues like race, crafting stories that divide rather than unite. Far removed from the tales of resilience and common purpose that once defined its golden age, when the internet gave the free world a chance to push back against this skewed narrative, progressive groups sprang into action. Organizations bent on control moved swiftly to clamp down on the information superhighway, silencing dissenting voices. Elon Musk has stepped up as a modern champion, striving to keep platforms like X open for honest discourse, but even he faces constraints bound by legal and societal pressures. What's desperately needed now is a group of resolute, principled men and women, people with the clarity and strength to stand firm. These Ideological bullies modeled with their distorted worldview won't retreat easily. It's time for a new wave of courageous individuals to rise, reject manipulation, and restore the cultural integrity Hollywood once embodied.
All right. So, High Ridge Estates is requesting that I play the song Ivanhoe. And I think that since Ivanhoe does have a Jewish character and it deals... Do I still have Ivanhoe on my... Yeah, this is the Ballad of Ivanhoe and Rebecca. Ivanhoe deals with a Jewish maiden. And it's a good movie. I'm not a fan of the book, but I've been a fan of both the movie with Elizabeth Taylor and the female that died recently. I can't even remember her name. That's how bad my memory is. She was in Romeo and Juliet, and she played Rebecca in Ivanhoe, and she has also passed away recently, along with David Horowitz. I believe that a lot of people in the film industry would probably agree with David Horowitz and the behavior of the left, how vicious and how nasty they are. And they really showed their teeth in 2020 during the lockdowns and the BLM Antifa /protest/riots. And there is no bounds to these people's cruelty. And there's sanctimonious, I would say sanctimonious cruelty. But if you are strong enough, and again, be like David Horowitz, and do not believe the lies, but see through them. This is Ivanhoe, the Ballad of Ivanhoe and Rebecca for High Ridge Estates. It might be a little bit of a tribute to David Horowitz.
From castles high to forests low, in shadowed realms where moonlight glows, a knight named Ivanhoe did seek the love of one so pure and meek. Rebecca's eyes like stars at night guided Ivanhoe through fierce fight. Her whisper soft, a sacred vow, in every heart a spark to plow. Ivanhoe and Rebecca's tale, though winds may howl and skies assail, their love will stand unyielding strong, a timeless dance, a sacred song. Where danger
All right. So I'm just out here and just some thoughts, and I played Ivanhoe the way High Ridge Estates, Scotty, wanted that. And again, there are lots of culturally captured people out there. And one of the again, there is a Black consciousness movement that has also taken over the establishment, and it's allowed to take over the establishment by the progressive left. They may pretend to be on their own, and sometimes their ego thinks that. This one is called A Man Named Linwood. Was inspired to do this by a gentleman by the name of C.T. Chaotic Truth, and he has a man named Linwood. He is a follower of Neely Fuller Jr. And I want to get into a contrast of the two, and again, an objective mindset that this song portrays of the people of the past, who, even though they were zealots themselves, came from far harsher circumstances than these social warriors of today. These guys are fakes, and they are not as tough as those who came before them. So this is just a little thing, and then I'm going to wrap it up and play my outro spoken word song.
A man named Linwood, a fervent follower of Neely Fuller Jr., a man who staked his life on the belief that white supremacy is the hidden engine of the world Linwood devours. Fuller's books and articles like their holy writ, trailing after them with the devotion of a fanatic, his mind locked in a cycle of obsession. But here's the catch: this isn't some noble pursuit of wisdom, it's a trap, a mental spiral where resentment festers, chaining the spirit to a story that distorts reality. Look closer, and the gulf between Neely Fuller Jr. and Linwood snaps into focus, as clear as a photograph split down the middle. Fuller's a lean, weathered figure, shaped by the Great Depression, a time when people ate from garbage cans, hunted rabbits, or went to bed with hunger clawing at their insides. A struggle in its rawest form, a fight for survival that leaves no room for pretense. Linwood, though, he's bloated, a child of excess, probably raised in a cushioned world where scarcity's just a word. One man was tempered by poverty's sharp edge, the other's drowning in gluttony, his battle self-made and inward. It's a stark divide. One's hardship was real, physical, a test of endurance. The other's is a mirage, a war waged against shadows of his own making. Fuller came up in an era where hunger wasn't a metaphor, it was a relentless, humbling force, not some petty grievance over a slight or an insult. Linwood's hunger, though, is different. It's a craving of the ego, a narcotic that keeps him hooked. It's the addiction to feeling wronged, the junkie's high master's moral clarity. He's caught in a loop, chasing a struggle that's less about the world and more about feeding his sense of self. Picture it, an endless oppression Olympics, where the only prize is another dose of outrage. In time, all that's left are others like him, fellow travelers strung out on the same delusion, scrambling for their fix of fabricated suffering, while the quiet, unvarnished truth drifts further out of sight. By the Great Depression, a time when people ate from garbage cans, hunted rabbits, or went to bed with hunger clawing at their insides. That struggle in its rawest form, a fight for survival that leaves no room for pretense. Linwood though, he's bloated, a child of excess, probably raised in a cushioned world where scarcity's just a word. One man was tempered by poverty's sharp edge, the other's drowning in gluttony, his battle self-made and inward. It's a stark divide. One's hardship was real, physical, a test of endurance. The other's is a mirage, a war waged against shadows of his own making. Fuller came up in an era where hunger wasn't a metaphor. It was a relentless, humbling force, not some petty grievance over a slight or an insult. Linwood's hunger, though, is different. It's a craving of the ego, a narcotic that keeps him hooked.
I just want to say, rest in peace, David Horowitz. You fought against the culturally captured beast, our beasts who think they know what is right for everyone. 2020, many saw the beast up close and personal. We saw a vindictiveness unlike any other. And today, in your name, Mr. Horowitz, I will fast. Today and tomorrow, to see how far and how strong I am. Because you are strong and you are brave. And even though you might be an atheist or an agnostic, I hope that you're in heaven, preaching the truth and reality. Anyway, this will end it. I will end with my outro song, Today I Fast. Thank you.
Today I fast, not just as a personal act, but as a stand against a culture being overrun by egocentric parasites. These predators feed on our weaknesses, masking their selfishness with empty ideals while eroding the foundations of our world. I fast to forge my resolve, to harden my spirit against their temptations and threats, their spite, their viciousness. It crumbles before the iron will and unwavering determination I build through this sacrifice. The devil could heap a banquet in my path, but I'd walk past it, for man does not live by bread alone, but by the truth that pierces their illusions. The progressive left, armed with their tangle of lies, seeks to tear down Western values, liberty, heritage, integrity, while cloaking their assault in the garb of progress. Sometimes they even hijack patriotic Western rhetoric, a sly ruse to blind you to their real aim. Don't fall for it. Whether they're consumed by Trump derangement syndrome or Musk derangement syndrome, these people aren't guided by reason. Hypocrisy runs through them like a vein of rot, yet their cunning as con artists adept at concealing their motives. They'll enlist others, people who talk and dress like conservatives, to peddle their cause, turning them into tools of betrayal. These are the wolves in sheep's clothing we've been warned about, polished on the surface but feral beneath. Today, I see the trap they set. Egocentric monsters like these always blend truth into their lies. It's their trick, a fog to disorient you. They'll dangle a shred of honesty to lure you in and bind you to their schemes. But I fast to rise above the haze. Hunger clears my vision, strips away their noise and roots me in what's real. Let them plot and growl, my resolve stands like stone. They can't sway me with their tainted offerings or break me with their empty bluster. This is my defiance, my armor, my declaration that their dominion stops when my will takes hold.